Hi dear all Espresso TV freaks, now we have a guest from Modena. Café Cagliari, Giulia.
Absolutely, hi, hello.
Ciao.
Alles gut?
Ja, natürlich. Immer alles gut, immer alles gut.
Alles gut.
So my question is, what is the thing about coffee? How did you come to coffee and what is coffee for you?
Oh wow, coffee. Coffee started as a job at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then slowly afterwards, it became, I would say, a passion. Not to sound very obsessed, but it's more like an obsession for me. It's a very living element. So once you understand that it's a living element, that everything that inside, that just one single being, come straight from the terroir, from the soil, from where it grows, and then you can see the fascination of it. Because once you start to understand just a few parameters that you need to know in order to work with coffee the perfect way, then you realize that you could have a very different cup every single time that you want. Which means that once you are able to taste and to tell the difference from one cup to the other, then you can have a different coffee whenever you want, you know, and you can pretty much get whatever you want out of those coffee beans. So you are in control. That's basically the thing. And nowadays coffee, you know, has become more and more and more fashionable, I would say, but also a more specialized topic. I'm from Italy, and coffee has always been a very stone in our culture. So we always had coffee, but we never pay attention to it. It was just coffee, you know. Coffee is something that doesn't cost a lot. Coffee is something that you would get for free maybe sometimes, you know, because some people would invite you for a coffee, for example. And now, especially with the fourth and fifth wave of coffee that we are facing at the moment, is more, it's a commodity, you know, so it's a very, very tangible element, and we should pay attention to it. My job and the other trainers' job as well, even all over the world, because it's spread all over the world, I think it's our job, you know, to introduce people and to make them see that it's actually not just coffee, you know. There's a world behind it.
Yeah, like also with wine is also quite complicated topic.
Absolutely, teas as well.
I remember I did diploma examination in Bordeaux, some part, and we opened the bottle and were always disappointed. And when the bottle was almost empty, then it started to taste. So
everybody was happy all of a sudden.
Beginner's fault,
Coffee tasting is not as funny as wine tasting, but you know.
So also important when we start the tasting, not always empty, but just taste a little bit, otherwise we get heart problems. Okay?
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can go through the tasting once we have the cup. So we can see all the gesture and movements and all the steps. Remember, you can also, up to you, but you can also spit it out, so that's not a bad thing. You know, they would do in tasting, professional tasting, they would have just a sip and they would spit it out, because otherwise...
but I'm so we drink espresso, just a small quantity, okay, so and the first thing is always to set up the grinder, right?
Absolutely.
And how to do this?
Everybody has their own method. I want to say that first at the beginning, and every grinder works in a different way. These two grinders, for example, comes from a very similar family, although two different brands. What does that mean? It means that they are on-demand burr grinders. So that means that you don't have a chamber in here that collects the ground coffee. All the coffee that you get, it's being ground freshly and straight away. Exactly like that.
Okay.
So you've got two flat burrs in here working in this way, and if they get closer, we will have a finer ground coffee. If they get far apart, we will have a coarser coffee. Coarser. Once it's out, it falls basically straight away, and in this way we can maintain all the freshness. Just keep in mind that ground coffee will lose its aromas in about 15 minutes, 75% of aromas. So having pre-ground coffee is comfortable, is easier, I understand, but we also have to keep in mind that aromatically will not be the same.
Also in 15 Minuten hat dieses Pulver hier 75% verloren. Also ja.
Oxygen,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Deswegen ist auch Grind on Demand, also dass man einfach gleich malt, interessant. Und yeah, and we didn't adjust the grinders, so it's our job now here to adjust the grinders, okay? Mein Vorschlag ist, wir lassen jetzt erstmal Giulia ein bisschen arbeiten und dann steigen wir mit ein, oder? Passt es? Könnt ihr auch mitgucken? Jetzt wird praktisch das Gewicht definiert. How many grams? Not enough.
We can, no, not enough. We've got a double filter on at the moment. So with this, especially with this blend, I would recommend at least 15 grams of coffee, at least. But
a little bit more.
We've got, yeah, we can go 16 easier.
Yeah.
And we've got a double filter.
So,
another important thing, of course, freshness and cleanliness. That's the main part. When we cook, when we do everything, right? When we food is involved. If you've got some leftover water, please try to rinse it and dry it as much as possible, because otherwise the water inside the filter and inside the group filter will fall into the cup and dilute a little bit our coffee. Another very important step, leveling the coffee pot. Just, you know, a few. You don't need to lose and waste a lot of time on that. But if, you know, you try to imagine if you've got all the coffee stuck on one side and then you go and tamping down, we will have a little bit of a mountain going downhill this way. The water flow will not be as homogeneous as it should be. So in the part where you have low coffee, you will have an over-extracted coffee. Channeling. Whereas in channeling, of course. I don't want to press it down too hard because I think that it's already really fine, the grind size. But what I like to do every single time is to touch with my fingers this tiny little step here along the sides to see if I've actually pressed down evenly. You see, I've pressed down and then rotate without pressing down, just rotate, and then you've got an even coffee pot.
Hey, cool, super, wow.
What I've done again?
Yeah, okay.
Purging of the water, of course, to clean the water distributor that we've got on the top, then we insert.
And now we see the result, okay? The grinder is just set by feeling and yeah.
You had a very good cleaning.
Oh, really? A little bit of experience, but I really did
just
not...
Just a few days of experience, right?
Yeah.
Few days.
A few days and a few years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Days of experience. Who wants the first coffee? Who's that brave to try the first coffee?
Yeah.
Please. Just don't swirl it, just have a look at it.
Maybe with a spoon?
Yeah.
Spoons.
The tiger stripes that you see on the cream, on the surface, it means that it was the best way to extract the Arabica. Arabica variety will translate during the extraction with these tiger stripes on top of the cream, and as you can see, the cream is very, it looks like silk. It's very smooth. It's chocolatey color, almost nutty color.
Oh yeah.
Tiger stripes. Everything is perfect. And then what we do, we wash the coffee. We always want to swirl it first a little bit. Especially, you want to move the cream down and the liquid up.
Why?
Because at the end of the extraction, you get a lot of bitterness and a lot of caffeine as well. So after we twirl it, I always say to the customer, you know, even if you have your coffee without sugar, have a little good twirl first. So who wants to drink it, please?
That's right.
And we have here now the Super Oro. Which kind of blend is it? That's also important to know.
At the moment, now this is a very high percentage of Arabica varieties. We've got 80% Arabica and 20% Robusta. The Arabicas that we've got inside Super Oro are Brazil, Colombia, plus we've got a few Southern and Central American origins that gives out these nice nutty feelings with the aroma of chocolate, the aromas of toasted bread as well. And then on the 20% we've got an African Robusta, which gives everything that we expect in coffee. You know, cream, body, intensity, persistency, strength. It's a very well balanced blend that goes along with pretty much with everybody, you know, because it's got an aromatic side and it's got also a strong side to it. A little bit more Robusta here, first thing, it's a 70-30.
Which means more taste?
Which means more body, more strength, more body, more cream. It's more like a coffee that a Southern Italian would have, you know. You can see it even chromatically. When you look at the coffee, it looks more brown. And it's got more body. When you taste it in your mouth and you stretch your tongue on your palate, you see more density as we go this way. I would say all of these blends that you see here are very good with cappuccino, but more Robusta, better.
Because I got this one from Marcus with the machine.
Here's the...
Absolutely. This is a perfect Italian espresso roasting color.
Quite dark and
Very quite dark, very homogeneous. A little bit of oil coming out, but not as much. So it's very nice. And Robusta goes very, very well with cappuccino because Robusta doesn't have a very strong aromatic side to it.
I said now a little bit more coarse, and then we will see the difference. Same coffee, same machine, same grinder.
Different position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nicht so fein.
As you see, the importance is really to do step after step consciously, not do something, but to know. Also wenn man die wenigen Schritte wirklich ein bisschen bewusst macht, dann ist es einfacher.
You can always lift the cup while you're getting your coffee so that we will lose less cream. And now we can already tell by the way it percolates that the grind size is probably a little bit too coarse.
Yeah.
A little bit too coarse, but we can tell just by the look of it, but please just always try it. Because you never know, you know, you might even like it more this way. You never know. Do you want to touch it? It burns a little bit, but doesn't really. So that you can tell this is a coarse grind size.
You can see.
Yeah, this is why I went a little bit more coarse, because we need to experiment.
Absolutely.
Like when you tune a guitar, the strings, it should be exactly. Oh, okay. Yeah, Yeah, so now we can integrate the cappuccino. We have also some milk monsters here. Yeah, okay.
Latte milk is also another very, very important topic.
Difficult for me.
What did you do now, Giulia?
Just released some pressure from the steamer, because when you close the steamer, you got a phase in which the air will be sucked up, basically, and that creates a little bit of watery condensate all along the sides here, and also you may have a little bit of bacteria because of the milk. So what I like to do, just visually, I divide my milk jug into 4 parts, bam, bam, so that I've got 4 corners. I like to put it on the top left corner, but as I like to say, everybody has their different way of steaming the milk, of frothing, okay? Just one important thing is that you stick to the side. You can have your milk jug this way, you can have it like that, you can have it like that, it doesn't matter, just as long as you hold it on the side and on the surface. As you can see, the steamer has got these few tiny holes in here from which the air comes out. Those tiny holes at the beginning needs to stay on top in order to have that movement with the air and the proteins and the fats of the milk, and that creates the crema. After that, you will see me moving the milk jug a little bit up, so the steamer will go down inside, and then we can work just on temperature. You want to hold your milk jug with one hand, the other hand is free. We can control the steaming power and everything, it goes everywhere. And most important thing, this is your thermometer.
Okay.
So once you can't hold it anymore, then it's ready. We can try. Now I'll make a milk that is quite Italian traditional milk, so which means with a lot of crema. A lot of crema di latte. Are you ready? You want
ready? Yeah.
So your favorite position is southwest?
I usually dance. So once I can't hold it anymore, done. One important thing is that the milk must not be over 70 degrees Celsius. But the important thing is that once you've steamed your milk, you want to twirl it until it looks like silk. Or paint. No bubbles. You should not have any bubbles once you've done. If you've got a few, you can always do this. Although, like, it's a very old school habit, you know, when you go to Italy sometimes and you go to certain bars and you beep, 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 beep. No, not necessary. So you twirl it. Now that I've done it and I've set it like that, I've got a lot of the liquid down here and all of the cream up here. So when I go for pouring, I need to mix it very, very well first. And if I have a lot of cream, keep in mind that I can always separate it. How do I separate it? Bam.
Aha. Also genau aufpassen. So.
Maca wollte ich zuerst, die Quama wollte ich zuerst, dann wollte ich die Maca und dann gab es beide nicht.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, nice, cool.
With a nice crema di latte.
Now, Giulia, you're in your element. Cool.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm in my
Yeah.
But latte art is really a lot of frustration, you know? It's a lot of frustration. That's basically it.
Vorher ein bisschen
Faint impression.
Ja, das ist ja besser.
Nein, weil du unter quasi
You want to try it and try it and try it. And
Das ist so wie Mörtel
Ich würde das auch
anrühren,
machen,
weißt du?
wenn ich
Das
kann.
ist-
It's always desperate.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Thank you for
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like a Monet.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
Renoir, you know.
Yeah,
Monet.
super cool Renoir. Wow, wow, la bomba.